And it looks like we are live. Hello, folks. We are RPG players with the Gauntlet Community. Go ahead and check it out because it is a cool place on the internet where people gather and play games. And this game this evening is Masks, a New Generation, a role-playing game of young superheroes figuring out their place in the world that is set within the Gauntlet Comics universe. So we're playing around in a part of New Gauntlet City where a number of Gauntlet GMs have been setting different games and playing out different pieces of this vast and varied metropolis. Our piece of the story is the AEON After School Alliance for At-Risk Supers, a little program put together by this agency in charge of keeping track of the extranormal events of the city. And they have gathered these teenage superpowered people in the hopes of keeping them constructively occupied and avoiding anyone going down the path of supervillainy. We will see how well that all goes and whether this pilot program is considered a success by AEON. And just as a little note for our listeners, tonally, this game is hopefully in line with things like Young Justice or Teen Titans, maxing out at a PG-13, and we have some safety tools in place so that everyone is safe and having a fun time throughout our play. Let's meet our party. Going in character keeper order, I'll ask folks to say their name, say their pronouns, and introduce their character with just a little snippet about what makes them tick and what part they play in this crazy little city we call New Gauntlet. I will actually begin by introducing myself. My name is Alexi, he, him. You can find me on the internet. I'm branding myself as Cloven Pine Games as far as gaming goes, and there'll be more social media under that name shortly. Let's meet our players, starting with Yasmin.
Hey, I'm Yasmin, and you can find me at The Worst RPG on Twitter, and yeah, that's pretty much where I do my English social media stuff. Rest of it is in German, and I'll be playing Mephisto, the protege today. She's the protege of the Guardian Devil, and her mentor has a strong devil theme, which he kind of talked her into. So she's wearing a devil costume she thinks is a bit stupid. Her powers are like Faustian bargains deal making, where she gets superpowers to fulfill a wish someone makes. Also, she has some gadgets, and last time those powers did not work all that well.
Very good. Lynn, it's you next.
Hi, I'm Lynn. I use they, them pronouns. My character is Corey Sihapa, but she goes by Corey. She is the legacy, and when she is superheroing, she goes by Brightling. She is basically an ancient Peruvian goddess that's sort of in the city because one of the secrets of her legacy is that they need worship in order to be powerful and strong. And social media presence is kind of like worship, right? So she's just trying to be Halcyon's new darling. That's kind of her goal. But yeah, she's very, very pretty and super strong, and she's got magic weapons she can pull out of air, and she's gonna be very fun. And you can find me, Linda, on Twitter at _LINFINN. It's gonna be a fun game, y'all.
Yes, it will. Chris, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Chris. Use he, him pronouns. I will be playing El Baron, the Transformed. He is a blob of dark matter in a really nice suit, and he is here to make a good impression.
And I'm Leah. I'm playing Judith the Brain. I'm definitely the one who's at fault for Elbaron's transformation, but mostly Judith's inventions and things go well. She's built herself really cool prosthetic legs after a car accident, and her parents have made her promise not to try flying with them again until she's 30. But, mostly she just sees the world more clearly than other people and is perfectly willing to put in the hard work to fix it, even when everyone else tries to stop her.
And Leah, since you're joining us just for this session, session 2 of 3, I've given you a bonus potential just to give you a bit of a leg up to maybe get an advancement depending on how lucky or unlucky you are with your dice rolling. But we're also going to learn a little more about what unites Judith, aka Framework, with this team. We've heard some of the things about her backstory, but one key thing is when the team first came together, you created something lasting and beneficial for the whole team. What was it?
So I think the thing I made is that I upgraded our communicators so that we not only could talk to each other, but our communicators can kind of pick up on encrypted chatter, which is pretty good for knowing when AEON's about to turn up. Sometimes it sounds like we've overheard villainous things, but of course it's hard to figure it out with no context. And mostly it only comes in when I'm specifically trying to tune to encrypted frequencies, but sometimes it just interrupts our conversations. But I will probably have that worked out within 2 more generations of the device.
That's great. I love when you create something lasting and beneficial that is also potentially a train wreck. One of these relationships here in your brain playbook is you told blank about your shame and asked them for their confidence. And in our game, your shame is in fact the transformation of your transformed teammate. So I really want to know whose name goes in that blank.
Yeah, so I think I picked Corey, partly because she's the weirdest and the most alien. So my hope in telling her was that she wouldn't understand the gravity of it, and I'm not sure whether that worked. But this way, I have technically told someone.
Does that work for you, Lynn?
Yeah, that's fine. It works really well because Corey also knew Matthias before he turned, and they're friends. So the fact is that now she knows Matthias before, after, and now she knows why it happened, and she's just human lives are very short. Goes about her day.
Does she even register it as a bad thing? Does she think, oh well, you made him super? I mean, that would be great, right?
I think I tried to communicate I feel bad about this, but I don't know how well I succeeded.
Yeah, I think Corey's just a little confused about it because again, Corey's basically a walking statue, so she's not super duper human to begin with. So she's just yeah, that's real sorry about that one, buddy. Just sort of pats your shoulder and you almost go to your knees. She's just you're there.
It's funny you say she's not superhuman because she definitely is superhuman. Very good. All right. The other brain relationship question. You wish you could be a better hero, more like blank. Who on this team is the hero you're aspiring to be more like, Judith?
So I think it's actually Matthias, because as far as I'm concerned, I've ruined his whole life, and then he appears to have picked up the pieces and kept going. And Judith really admires that and both feels guilty, but is pretty moved that he's taking care of other people when she thinks of him as someone who she failed to take care of.
Nice. That sound good to you, Chris? Yeah. Then here's the moment where we go to your influence, where it says you need these people as much as they need you. Give influence to 2 of your teammates. Who are you gonna pick for that?
I'm going to pick Corey and Matthias.
That definitely tracks. Now, since you weren't here for other folks' character creation, you didn't get a chance to receive influence over anyone. I'm gonna just flag this for folks. You can, in masks, give influence to people, when you feel like they fictionally have it. So if any of you feel like at this point your characters, would care about what Judith thinks of them, you can give influence to Judith. Though it's also fun to save that for an exciting moment during the session, since there are moves that include, taking or giving influence as well.
I've got one question. Would it be fair to go ahead and give Judith influence over Matthias, since she basically has that sort of sword of Damocles thing just hanging there, waiting to be used, and all it would take was just a slight reveal for her to throw that out there.
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense. That there's there's some stakes to this relationship with this mutual influence, and then there's this secret shame that Judith knows about, and that she tried to confide to Corey without Corey fully understanding, and that she has not told Matthias yet. Does that seem like I'm tracking what's going on here? Very good. Then I think that brings that introduces all our characters and establishes the new character who's going to be able to join us this time around. Let's quickly recap where you were when we last left off. I will try to summarize, and please jump in if there's things that stuck out to you that I'm not mentioning here. You guys were dropped off in Undertaker's Row, a part of New Gauntlet City that has definitely seen better times, as attested by the rundown playground you guys are nearby, and the kind of mansion type building that's been subdivided into lower rent apartments, but still has like strange incrustations like gargoyles up at the top of it. And you've been instructed by your AEON handler, Agent Rockwell, to clean up the town, to kiss babies and shake hands, but not to do any superhero fighting stuff. Your delinquent teammate was handed the communicator to call in AEON, in case things got rough. So you are cleaning up some graffiti, otherwise trying to pitch in a little bit on this street. Oh yes, you'd noticed some graffiti in particular that indicated this was territory claimed by a criminal boss named Mr. Hearst, whom even your criminally connected Janice thought was bad news. And as this was going on, a hand made of rubble flew down from above, lifted up your delinquent, with some between you guys, you managed to free your friend, but it seems like you're potentially under attack here. So I think we'll say that the viewers see Quicksilver, the Janice, running away from this scene. She's knocked out her friend Jamal and slung him over her shoulder because she wants to keep him from the world of criminality and superheroics. But she's leaving the rest of you here, potentially facing down some kind of danger. I've left the team in the pool that you built up last time, just because last time was an abbreviated session. So rather than reset the team between sessions, I'm leaving what you got because you earned it. You put some team in there. But I think you've got 4 team in the pool. If you go to the roll for your party, I have included some tokens there that represent the team, and we'll remove them as necessary. But I think the sight that greets you all as you look around is a kind of street that's suddenly gone a little hushed. There were people who were looking at you through the windows, but they seem to have backed away. And your friend Moxie has been caught by you, Matthias, but she kind of shakes loose, and then the rest of you see a bunch of kind of gravel and rubble and various detritus around the area start to kind of surge up from the ground, from places on the building where it's collected, and like an enormous fist seems to be forming up in the air, and you can just make out a shadowy figure on the rooftop who seems to have like their arm stretched out towards this big fist. Corey, if I remember correctly from last time, you're wearing a sash that says "Team Leader, all enemies concentrate fire on me." Is that correct?
That depends on whether or not the delinquent kept it up.
I think in the absence of Pearl, who was playing the delinquent, I'm going to say that it's definitely still there.
Even though she was like, even though Pearl Moxie was like taken into the air and almost.
Yeah, she can maintain 3 illusions at one time with relative ease. One of them is the mask that Janice is wearing as she runs away. One of them is the sash you have on. And until she needs to make some more, there's no need to drop it. So yeah, the fist definitely is coalescing and like starting to aim towards you, Corey. What do you do?
I think Corey starts out by looking around and is just like, this seems like a job for public services. Yeah? Yeah. Let's call them. Oh boy.
Interesting. Are you trying to provoke Moxie to call AEON on her little communicator?
No, I think she's just like clipping. She's like never actually. She's like probably very rarely actually been in a situation where she has to like fight a thing, and like this is just a bunch of rocks, and she doesn't see it as like a total threat right now. So it's a little bit like she's like, what's going on? Like, what do? Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Above you, the rocks like have formed together. It's like partly made just of asphalt and bits that have been chipped off of these brownstone buildings, right? And enough detritus has gathered that the hand is now like significantly bigger than you yourself, Corey. More like the hand of like one of the stone giants that guards your family's holy lake in Peru, and it's hurtling down towards you to crush you into the ground as from the rooftop somebody yells, "You guys don't belong here! Get out!" What do you do?
I think she would call to her hand which one? No. I'm so sorry.
Looking up which weapon you want to bring to bear?
Yeah, the Makana, which is basically like a bat with a giant like spiked iron star on the top. The Makana.
Mm-hmm.
So she calls forth the Makana, which again, like just sort of like she just has her hand out in a fist and it just like appears.
That's so cool.
Golden holy light jade. Her like arm turns to basically jade, and she's just like, she just doesn't know what to say in this sort of situation. She's just like just getting ready to just beat up this weird fist that's coming at her, and she's just like, yeah, all right, you want to tango? Let's tango.
Are you fighting the fist?
Yeah, I think that she like if the fist comes close enough to her, like makes an attack on her.
It's hurtling down towards her.
Oh yeah, she's whacking that thing real hard.
Please roll to directly engage a threat.
I absolutely will. And let me double check. Directly engage is plus danger. And I have a -2 danger because she's not pulling her punches right now. Oh boy. All right, here we go.
Please roll.
Yikes. Hey, what? All right, I rolled an 11 -2. I get a 9.
Wow. All right, nicely done. On a 9, you get to choose one of the options from the directly engage a threat list.
You could team that thing up to a 10 because that's not really a high cost.
Does anyone want to spend a team by assisting Corey here?
Do I get ice cream for helping? Someone say yes.
Wait, what?
Do I get ice cream for helping?
Yes, we'll get you ice cream.
Okay, fine. I point my finger at the thing and shoot hellfire at it.
Okay. Yeah. So that pushes your score there, your roll there up to a 10, Corey. What options from the directly engaged list do you pick?
I think that I want to resist or avoid their blows, and I also want to create an opportunity for my allies.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I imagine that resisting or avoiding their blows, mostly entails breaking the fist, before it gets to crush you. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I'd like that.
All right. What sort of opportunity are you aiming to create for your allies?
I think that she has seen the man or the figure on the building.
Yeah.
And she's heard them speak.
Right.
And I think that she realizes that if she can sort of show off a little bit and like distract them enough, like by shattering whatever they had created in front of her, maybe they will be again distracted, and it will give an opportunity for one of their allies to pop on up there and maybe restrain them or something.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think you see the figure on the roof kind of step back, kind of like fade backwards to further into the shadows, as if surprised that you have so effectively shattered the fist that was dropped on you. And you do see another gesture from up there, and you feel the ground kind of like rumble a little under your feet, and you see like kind of a rolling wave of debris, but it kind of just circles around you, Corey. So like the enemy seems to be focused on trying to contain you, and definitely there's an opportunity for one of your allies to do something. Matthias, what do you do?
I think since Corey has pointed out the figure up on the roof, I think what Matthias is going to do is he's going to engage in a little bit of dark matter special effects. He's going to basically project himself up onto the roof by effectively like pouring his dark matter through the intervening space. So he basically becomes like this sort of spout of dark matter that shoots up there and then plops down on the roof and builds back up to a person.
That sounds beautiful to me. This also sounds like something Matthias has not necessarily had a lot of practice with.
Absolutely not. He's trying to unleash these powers.
Go ahead and roll plus freak.
That will be a 7 plus 3 from freak, which makes it a 10.
Okay.
Because Matthias is a seriously freaky dude. I mean, that's just what he is.
Yeah. So this is it's not unstable or temporary. You get to do it. So tell me what's so kind of impressive, bordering on disturbing for the other people watching as Matthias, creates this path up to the rooftop.
Basically, he points a finger up to the roof, and effectively, like all of his mass projects in the direction of that finger, like a spout of water, and draws his clothing along with it. So like it goes
wearing a suit.
Yeah, well, and it projects all the way up there. The suit's drawn along, and like when the suit gets up there, like he slowly fills it back up with his with the dark matter that makes up his body, and reshapes himself into a human. And he says, from I guess to the side of the guy, or person, whatever it is, look, we appreciate you offering that hand, but you could have been a little friendlier about it.
Hey, I love it. All right, I'm gonna say something now that's kind of subject to retcons by Pearl in the next session if she needs it. But just to give us a sense of what we think's going on here, I think like as this like craziness has started to unfold, your teammate Moxie made a grab for the abandoned bike that Jamal had left in the playground. And just like starts pedaling off on it, saying something like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll get help." And none of you are totally sure whether you believe her. But I think in point of fact, she does sort of get help because she's going to pass Judith, who's making her way towards this. Does that sound good, Leah?
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah. So what do you do when you see your teammate Moxie just kind of speeding by you? She's not going to pause for a conversation because there isn't really, because I am not the one who's mostly authorized to play this character, but I think she says something like, "Big crazy hand stuff going on over there."
So I think I'm, rolling up with, the reason I'm late, which is that given that we're cleaning up paint and whatnot, I was trying to build something that would help. So, I should coming along with what looks like a tangula that's made entirely out of vacuum hoses, and it's kind of stumping along on them like tentacles. And, I like grab it into my arms and like start breaking into a run, and I like start twiddling the controllers that control what kind of solvent it was supposed to spray.
This is like the Pokemon Tangela.
It's a big mass of vacuum hoses, and it kind of just stumps along in a really unsettling way.
And this is kind of the upshot of you doing your kind of restock gadgets move off screen, huh?
You betcha.
Can we get just like the briefest flashback to your lab where you're putting this together, and then I'll let you fill up those gadgets with to hold.
Oh yeah, I figured that I didn't want to waste my time cleaning up paint, which is what it sounded like this whole thing was supposed to be. So instead of spending like 2 hours doing that with my team, I stayed up all night spending 10 hours working on this thing. And like accidentally dissolved some of the mortar in my parents' basement, but I replaced it with better mortar made from carbon fiber.
Priorities. I think Judith, you arrive on this particular block of Undertaker's Row where our team has been caught up in all this. I think you arrived just in time to see Matthias El Baron do this extremely disturbing matter spout / suit climb, and I'm gonna ask you to make a choice, because when you when you're confronted with your shame, you either mark a condition or shift superior down and danger up. What do you choose? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, why not start off strong? I'm going to go ahead and take guilty.
That definitely tracks. All right. Mark that on your character sheet. But the rest of you at this point see Framework and her pet vacuum hydra appear on the scene, and it sounds like Corey is just like single-handedly battling the waves of debris that were being sent to hold her up. But what I want to know is, are we going to enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team?
I would like to think about if I read something in the files of my mentor about this Dirt Mancer or whatever he is.
Cool. So you're gonna roll a been reading the files as you look up at what your teammates confronting on the rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
That's legit. Do that, and then if people are game for it, we'll enter battle against a dangerous foe.
It's a 9.
Cool. Well, on a 9 for been reading the files, you tell the team what important detail you've learned from your studies, and I'll tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember. Let me just drop a visual into the chat so we can all see something about this character. We're looking at someone who doesn't look that different from your age, wearing some manner of street clothes, but also large mechanical gauntlets. And there's, debris and dust swirling around him. So yeah, you start by telling me something that you've learned from your mentor's files, and I get to tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember.
Yeah, I think those are technological powers and not supernatural, and thus my mentor looks down on them and has them noted in like a notebook on the side, not a grimoire, and was disappointed to find out those are not elemental powers but magnetic ones.
Nice. I think that what's different from what you remember is just the person wielding these. I think that in your files, Guardian Devil had gone up against like a middle-aged man supervillain with these gauntlets, and what you're seeing someone with the same gauntlets. You would recognize them anywhere, but the boy who's wearing them is much closer to the age of you teenage superheroes. So yeah, I think we have a team assembled. We have a foe in sight. I think I want to ask us to enter battle against Danger Sword as a team, which involves getting some team and asking some questions. So here's my first question: who's the leader?
The one with the sash.
Oh, the one with the sash that says "Leader, concentrate your fire here."
Yeah, I feel like I was late, and it looks like everyone picked a leader without me.
Now, admittedly, the print about only target me is only on the back of the sash.
Either way, it seems to be effectively doing its job. Yeah, Corey thinks that she's leading, at least for now.
Sure, as long as she's paying me, she is the leader.
You were getting ice cream, girl.
Corey,
okay? Like,
do you have influence over every other member of your team?
I think so, actually. Like, I think that randomly in between, like, all of our backstories, I can double check, but yeah, I'm almost positive I do.
Unfortunately, I think there's one you don't have.
I don't have influence over Mephisto.
Yeah.
But I have influence over Rashida, who's not here.
Yeah, no, she's dealing with the, things, the responsibilities she has to juggle as a Janus leading a double life, who's also the scion of a crime family. All right, so you don't get one for influence over every teammate. But what is your purpose in the fight, Corey?
I think she just sort of wants the fighting to stop. Like, there's like no one around that needs protecting. But I think like her goal is to like subdue this person with the least amount of damage as possible. But if damage happens.
All right, so subdue this person, and as a side note, minimize collateral damage. Does everyone else have that same purpose, or does anyone have a different purpose in this fight?
I mean, given my lack of context, I'm genuinely slightly unclear on whether we're just trying to make sandblasting equipment to clean paint. But I'm willing to defer a little bit to my teammates.
That seems gracious. Anyone else think they have a different purpose in the fight? If we're basically on the same page, I'll add another team for you. Here's more question though. Does anyone mistrust the leader or the team? Speak up now if you're not sure you trust the leader or the team. Okay. That sounds like a silent vote of confidence in you, Corey. You should feel great. And if you're ill prepared or off balance, that's another thing that would cause me to remove a team. Anyone feeling ill prepared or off balance?
I mean, I am, but I don't know that the team as a whole is.
Well, you've got a whole lot of team here. I don't know if you really need all of it. So I'm probably going to remove one for the team is ill-prepared or off balance. However, the leader is allowed to mark a condition to avoid removing a team from the pool. Corey, what do you think?
How many team do we have? We have a lot, right? We have like 6 at this point. What, 5?
6, or I guess it would go down to 5 after I removed one. Does that track? Yeah.
I'm gonna say that she doesn't take an influence as they enter the battle against a dangerous foe, but she sort of looks over at Framework and she would just be like, "Get up to the roof!"
All right. So that's not taking a condition, but provoking your teammate. If I understood that correctly.
Yeah, either provoking or like encouraging, like giving them a bit of direction. Not necessarily.
Do you feel you're mostly trying to support your teammate or mostly trying to direct your teammate? Because that will affect which move you roll here.
That's interesting. I think it's more support because I think that Corey is basically trying to convince Framework that she can handle all of the random rubble that's happening around her. And she wants Framework to help Matthias restrain whatever's happening up there.
Nice. Okay, so tell me one thing Corey does in an attempt to make this a comforting or supporting gesture towards Framework.
Okay. So Corey is obviously like, she has her little Makana and she's just like going at it. And I think that she just looks really good doing it. Like she just looks good. And I mean, I don't know, man. I think that's great. Like she's just got like her feet planted and like the light is hitting her really nicely. And like she's just like the musculature of her arms is like really defined. Like she's just like got it under control and she just like winks a little bit.
All right.
So I'm reassured and supported because you're just so good looking and you're looking at me.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works for attractive people, naturally.
Lynn, go ahead and roll comfort or support.
All right, so that is plus mundane. I have a 0 in mundane, but it's not a -2, so okay, that's an 8.
Hey, so
it's a 9, right? Because she has influence over me.
Yeah, influence would count.
Okay, rad. Then I mean, it's a 9. Yeah.
Nice. And you could push it up, or you could save the team for something else. But on a 7 through 9 for comfort or support, the person being supported gets to mark potential clear condition or shift labels if they open up to you. So, Judith, what do you do?
I think I kind of take off towards the wall and say, yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. I thought this was going to help, but I'll make sure it does, she says grimly, gesturing to her vacuum monster. So I'm hoping the opening up is kind of admitting maybe it wasn't the best use of my time to build the vacuum monster.
I buy it. Do you clear condition, mark potential, or shift labels?
I'll take potential.
Potential fiend. What do you do as you head towards that wall?
Yeah, so I'm thinking what I might do actually, is very similar to that. This was originally built out of vacuums, and I'm just going to rejigger it a little so that a couple of the vacuums are, resucking, and just hang on to the back of it and use it to pull myself up really hang on to it like with reins along some of the other vacuum bits and let it pull me vertically up the wall while I kind of have tendrils come off from my legs and kind of just like when you're climbing ice, become like little pokey things that go in between the mortar of their building to help me just like climb up safely.
Your legs are turning into pitons?
Yes.
That sounds a little like an Unleashed to me.
Yeah, it seems legit. Happy to roll it. So let's see. My freak is flat, so I think I'm not going to pull out my my gadgets yet because I want to save them for something crazier.
Even though you're literally using one of the gadgets.
Yeah, I just feel like it will get crazier later. So let's see.
I can certainly endeavor to make it crazier later.
So that's a 5. So I'll take another potential.
Beautiful. Yeah, mark potential for the miss. I think we're gonna cut away from you for a moment and check back in a second. On the roof, Matthias, you are now like close to face to face with this young man with the big gauntlets, who kind of has seen you arrive and heard your little quip. And he's like, you think you're so funny. How would you like if someone just invaded your town, freak? And then I think like brings the fists up in front of him, and like kind of the roof around you sort of crumples up into like two kind of golem-like figures, like probably one of the gargoyles is just incorporated into a golem, but not like the gargoyle has been magically brought to life. Just like the material of the gargoyle has like grotesquely been merged into this vaguely humanoid shape that he has summoned up, and these kind of constructs grab at you. What do you do, Elbaron?
I think as these things are charging at him, I think he's going to I think he's going to try and basically like warp his way past them, like do that sort of like become like really thin and sort of slip past them, and he's going to try to see if he can get those gauntlets off of them. Those seem to be trouble. Like he seems to be throwing those things around like they mean something. So
yeah, to me that sounds a little like a directly engage, where like two of the things you're really aiming at are to avoid his blows and to take something from him. So yeah, go ahead and roll to directly engage.
Let's see.
And you know what? I'm tired of this, not referring to people by name thing. So we'll just say that as he, is attacking you, he says something like, "I'll teach you guys not to mess with Undertaker's Row. Not while Rubble Rouser is on the scene."
And I think like he stops for a second and he goes, "Okay, I thought my super name was bad, but man, I just."
Rubble Rouser is a great name.
It's like you're trying to horn in on my terrible super name, territory here, my friend. He's going to do the roll. Sorry, I got distracted there. Okay, that is an 8, and his danger is, I believe, a 2. But let me double check because I think his labels got shifted. Nope, danger still 2. So that's a total of 10.
Oh, nice.
So I think I can actually pick 2 and pick the 2 I actually want.
You can. How nice for you.
I'm surprised, pleasantly so. I'm going to try to take the gauntlets, and I'm going to resist or avoid their blows.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So you went kind of flat to dodge what he had coming at you. So I think the like golem construct things he pulled up just like smash into each other and start to shatter. And then he is surprised as you surge towards him in your freaky transformed way, and you just like kind of yank those gauntlets off of him. They feel really strange to you. You like your senses come out of like all like parts of your body. So just like touching these gauntlets is like a weird sensation. Doesn't seem to hurt you, but you're feeling strange upon kind of pulling them off. And like the kid that was wielding them suddenly seems to be kind of vibrating weirdly. You've kind of pulled these gauntlets off, but he's like suddenly like kind of shaking, in like a way that does not look good for him and does not look good for the building underneath him, because you see cracks just starting to like spread out from where he's standing, like quickly spiderwebbing across this whole roof, as he says, "No, but you guys, you're so mean. You don't know what Mr. Hurst is going to do to me if I screw this up." Meanwhile, let's just resolve some other things we had going on before we take a little break here. Framework, you were climbing up the building. I think that like the weird vibrations and cracks running through the building are like kind of what like throws you off a little bit. I think you're basically like your kind of limbs are shaken free, but you're like able to cling on to your vacuum creature, and so you're sort of dangling from the building for a moment, as you hear crackling through your communicator, just some police codes you recognize, and you get like a little snippet of like kind of orders being barked back and forth as like an angry female voice says, "This is Captain Anna Mikolos. I want the armored unit of Precinct 13 all to converge on," and then she says the address in Undertaker's Row where this is taking place. Meanwhile, on the ground, Corey, you were in the midst of this battle, and Mephisto had helped you with destroying that hand that was coming to crush you. I think Mephisto, you're the one who notices sort of walking oddly calmly through the chaos going on the ground, a like kind of middle-aged, professionally dressed woman, black turtleneck, dark sunglasses, somewhat severe features, and she seems to be walking, towards you, Mephisto, with a sort of knowing look, and I'm sending an image so you get the sense. Mephisto, what do you do before we go to our little break here?
Do I have any idea who this is?
No. At first glance, there's nothing familiar about this person, but she approaches and says, "Sorry, one moment."
Yeah, I think I'm like sitting on one of the swing sets in the playground and throwing fireballs over my shoulder at the rubble whenever it gets out of hand, because that's the deal I made. And when she is near, I turn around and blow on my fingers like they were guns.
Yeah. Miss Milton, I believe the two of us can come to a mutually beneficial arrangement if I can borrow a moment of your time.
So, where do you know my name from?
Great. We're gonna cut there and take a little break here. My things say it's 9:25. I say just to give us some good time. Let's reconvene at 9:32. So we'll take a little bio break here. See you all back very soon. All right. Looks like we have all gathered again. Everyone up to leap back into things. Oh, actually, one bit of business first. Linda, am I right that you're not able to join us for the last session next week?
I can, but I think that the Gauntlet was like booked up when I saw it. But I can, like, I'm available.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. That is interesting. Let me check in on that at some point, and we'll touch base. But in that case, we definitely won't try to kind of wrap things up necessarily to kind of bring Corey off screen for the end of this, because
yeah, I mean,
at this point there's no wait list for the third session, so I'm very comfortable just saying you can plan it if you're available.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm around. I'd love to play.
Excellent. So we will return to, I think the first thing I want to return to is that conversation that was just beginning. A new blossoming friendship between Mephisto. You are here on your swing set, and this lady in the black turtleneck and the dark glasses has approached, and she says she holds out a hand and she says, "My name is Ms. Osborne Rock. What do you do?"
Yeah, seems like you already know my name.
We try to stay informed about all of the extra normal goings on in this city. I represent a legal practice that has a particular interest in the supernatural dealings of New Gauntlet City. So, yes, we have had an eye on you because you seem to be a young lady with a great deal of potential.
I have hella potential, but I'm kind of busy here. I throw a fireball at rocks.
She nods. She says, "And yet it seems that you are hampered by the contractual burdens your mentor has placed around your access to your own superpowers. Now, does that seem just to you?"
Lady, I don't know you.
And yet, I think you're smart enough, young lady, not to want to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. And I think she's telling you how the world works and who you are. So that's a superior up, mundane down label shift. Do you accept it?
Let me look at my stats before I decide that.
Sure.
Superior up and mundane down. Is what she wants?
That's who she's telling you are.
Nah, I don't think that's who I am.
Okay, so if you want to reject her influence, you have to roll, because she is a grown-up, and all grown-ups have influence over you and can try to tell you who you are.
Can Corey see this?
Probably. I mean, you're a little distracted by everything else going on, but we'll probably see at least that there's a conversation over here.
I've got an 8. Or
Nice.
do I roll plus minus something there?
It's usually a flat roll for rejecting someone's influence unless you are insecure, which gives you a -2.
Which I'm not, so it's an 8.
All right. So on an 8 for you reject someone's influence, you can choose one. So you successfully hold yourself and tune them out. Her words are not going to change how you think of yourself. You get to choose one of these options: clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong, shift one label up and one label down, your choice, or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
I can't. Let's cancel her influence and tell her. Listen, if you want to negotiate, come at a better time. I'm sure we can arrange like a date at your office or something like that. And for starters, you need to give me something to convince me for before I even consider this. Like, if you are so powerful, get me Hamilton tickets.
Great. Yeah. Sure. I think you're trying to provoke her at that point. So she smiles, but roll provoke to see how well you like in just to check. In truth, you Mephisto would like this lady who's approached you to be able to kind of prove she's the real deal by just handing you tickets to the Broadway smash hit musical Hamilton.
What do I need to roll?
Provoke.
Provoke, yes. That is which attribute is that again?
Plus superior, the one you just chose not to raise.
Yeah, great. It's a 5. Anyone want to team in? Maybe she gets 2 tickets.
I just don't know that your teammates are in a position to help you with this. Mephisto, please mark potential for that miss.
Yep.
I think. Yeah. Great. I think she like flicks her hand and she's holding out a card to you. And she says, "Very well. I'll have my people put you on the books for an appointment tomorrow at my office. And do you take the card?"
Sure.
Great. Yeah. As you do, you feel like kind of a wave of power move through you. And she says, "And it may not be Hamilton tickets, but consider this a free sample." And I think that you do feel like something bubbling under the surface, an unfamiliar power. It's weird enough, though. I'm going to ask you to mark a condition as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel?
Guilty, because I kind of did think about betraying my mentor and all that.
That tracks to me. All right, mark guilty. Corey, you'll probably like catch a little bit of this, out of the corner of your eye. But I don't know if you follow enough to like see what's just gone on with Mephisto. You tell me if you're focusing on that or on the kind of roiling walls of debris that are coming at you.
Yeah, I don't think excuse me, I don't think Corey catches a lot of it. I think that she's still hacking away at this rubble, but I think sort of as soon as and totally 100% take over if I'm metagaming this too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as kind of like as soon as the woman gives Mephisto her card, that's kind of the moment when Matthias like pulls away the gauntlets from Rebel Rouser.
That sounds right.
So all Corey really sees is like a weird like whoosh of energy where like Mephisto's hair just like flips up like anime style for a minute. And that's it. And that, so I think that she knows that there's like something weird happened, but she doesn't know the context.
That's great. Yeah, around you, the kind of animated rubble just suddenly drops. So you're like swords, just like cleaves the air as all of the rubble in front of you is now just normal rubble in the street. It looks like pretty big fight has happened here, just because all of the enemy combatants are now bits of destruction and debris around the area. But you also see this kind of this old building shaking, and kind of dust coming down from it, and you start hearing people inside yelling. Some people are running out the door, but there's a kid yelling, "Grandma's still in there!" What do you do?
So I think I don't think Corey quite knows. I don't think Corey knows that the person on top of the building has powers. Has these specific powers. I think that she just knows that there's something up there and something's happening, and she'll look over at Mephisto and then look over at the building, and she'll run towards the building. And I want her to, her and Makana disappears, and I think that she wants to yell up to the top of the building, just get down from there, get down, get to the ground, and she's running in to start pulling out Grandma.
Yeah, that makes sense. Here's my question: are you specifically provoking Matthias to get down?
I don't think so. I think that for her, she doesn't know that whether or not Matthias knows what's happening or understands what's going on in the building. So it's really just an informational yell more so than an order.
Yeah, cool. Then what I want to have you do is roll defend to evacuate civilians from this house.
Neat. Okay, defend is plus savior.
Yeah.
I have a big savior.
Yeah, your savior's 3.
3. Okay. Woo. All right. Let's do this. All right. Okay, that's 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got a whole 10.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, on a 10 for defend, not only do you keep them safe, you don't escalate the situation or expose yourself to danger. And you get to choose one of these options: add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
Luckily, I've been rolling real good. And I probably just jinxed it. But I'm going to take influence over framework. Because framework's up there too.
Oh, yeah. Does that seem legit to you, Leah?
Yes, but she's already got influence over me, so that means she gets to shift my labels.
Do I?
I give you influence because I confided in you.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. I thought I was being tactical. Yeah, that's fine. I'll rearrange labels.
Yeah, I think we can slightly montage this as that you kind of rescue several of the people in this building that are themselves less mobile, and just get kind of clear it out, getting people to the street as things inside the building start falling down. Linda, you got another idea?
Yes, I want influence over Rubble Rouser.
Tell me how you're protecting him.
I don't think that. I mean, he's on the top of the building too, so he's in danger. So by sort of telling Matthias and Framework get down, she's trying to protect him too. She's not necessarily saying take him out, or she's not saying kill that guy. She's saying get away from the building that's about to fall.
Yeah, I will give it to you if we say that you get civilians out, and then you do something to hold up or hold together the building, kind of using your mythic might to buy time, so that the people up at the top are not collapsing into a pile of shards and rebar and whatnot. So tell me how you hold the building together, Corey.
I love that. Oh my gosh, Corey, I love her so much. I think that there's like a stairwell, like a large stairwell that sort of goes all the way up the building, and you know how these stairwells have like bars that sort of some of them, like in the older buildings, have bars that like go out to from the center of the stairwell to the sides of the apartments.
Sure.
I think that one of these starts to slip, and she's inside, and she sees that like there's a chain reaction that's about to happen in this like old metal stairwell. So she goes up to it, and she just like braces her arm above her head and like holds the other bar up, and she's like, I need you guys to get off the roof now.
That's great. And I think like a part of the roof has like broken away so that you're like visible kind of mythically and beautifully, holding this building up like a Amazonian atlas, and like Rebel Rouser like spots you through the broken building and like blushes scarlet.
I also love how everyone calls her statuesque. She's like 5'5". She's like a very shorter lady, but yeah, she's like jade and gold, and like her hair is shimmering. It's just like the whole thing.
Judith, just to check, you were hanging from your vacuum creature to the side of the building as it's trembling and falling, and you had just heard a little like snippet of police chatter over your modified AEON communicator. What do you do now?
I mean, I think I'm going to try and like retreat to the ground, but I yelled to Matthias, "The cops are on their way. Toss me one of those gloves. I think I can fix this."
Is that a provoke?
Oh, sure. Let's see.
I'm not sure Matthias wouldn't just toss her the gloves.
Yeah, if you want to toss it to me, I'm happy to.
He doesn't know. He trusts her. She knows what she's doing.
If someone provokes you and you go along with it, you get a team in the pool.
Okay.
Potentially, depending on what they pick.
Okay.
All right. I'm trying to remember. Matthias, did you give me influence when we were starting up? All right,
yes.
Cool. Then I'm just rolling provoke, which is superior, which luckily is my best stat. +2, +1 for influence, so +3. That would be a 13. So if you toss me the glove, you get a team in the pool, and if you don't, then you take a condition.
He'll definitely toss you the glove.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matthias, you're up on the rooftop. You see your friend has retreated to the ground and is calling up to you for one of these gloves from Rebel Rouser, who's like kind of now at this point both like vibrating dangerously and blushing enamoredly. What do you do? Started with, it sounds like tossing the glove, but tell me a little about how you do that.
Okay. First, he's going to just basically toss the glove over the side to down to her, because I think she was like maybe part of the way up the building already, just hanging onto that thing. So he just drops it toward her, and the
vacuum monster catches it.
And that's just you've still got one up there with you. You've dropped one to framework.
Yes, and I look to the Rebel Rouser and say, "Do you need these gloves to stop doing that?"
Ooh, it is. I think he starts nodding, but I also think you might need to pierce the mask to learn more about his deal. That seems like what you're going for.
Oh yeah, I will definitely do that. Let's see, and unfortunately, pierce the mask is
mundane.
Yeah. So not well. My mundane isn't terrible, but it's not particularly great either. So
go for it. We'll see what happens.
Oh, that's an 8.
Oh, nice. You get one question from the Pierce the Mask list. What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? And how could I get influence over you?
How could I get him to surrender and come down off the building with me?
And how do you try to learn this? Like, it sounds like you asked him a question, but are you doing anything else to?
I think he says this building's going to come down with us on top of it. If I give you this glove to sort of help you get yourself together, are you going to come down there with us? Or do you want to just be on this building when it falls down?
Yeah. So I think you can see him kind of reaching towards the glove, which and like his kind of like hand seems to stabilize as it gets closer. And he says, "Listen, you may think you can push me around, but I'm not the worst thing that's going to come after you. So, yeah, give me the glove. Let's keep this building standing, but then you need to get out of here before they find out you're screwing things up." So I think he'll definitely accept this glove from you, and will stand down if you leave Undertaker's Row. What do you do?
As I'm handing the glove, I said, "Listen, literally all we came down here to do was clean up trash off the road and out of the playground. That was it. We're doing community service." we're basically in detention, dude. And then he like does grabs him and then does that sort of basically forms a dark matter slide to take him and the guy down off the building.
Yeah. He like looks weirded out about this, but he's going along because like his like jitters have stopped a little bit once he gets one hand into one of these gloves.
And plus he says, "And if you like don't cause any trouble, I'll introduce you to the statue lady."
These kids. So you slide down to the ground, and I think Mephisto, you're let's say you kind of your eyes leave Ms. Osborne Rock for a second, and she's gone by the time you look back.
Yeah.
But you do hear sort of like the thundering tread of what sounds like power armor wearing police officers. Which you can tell it's them because they're shouting, "Precinct 13, citizens, do not interfere. This is a metahuman emergency. We are equipped to deal with it. Metahumans, surrender." And basically, there's a troop of these armored like Iron Man cops coming around the corner, approaching the scene of devastation, with their like laser batons held at the ready. What do you do?
I tell them, "Hey, chill. We have Aegis."
I see. So you're playing. You're kind of going over their head. Yeah, I think one of them says something like, "Those are the kids that screwed up that training exercise. They're causing more problems." Definitely like one is kind of like bearing down on you with like a kind of high-tech riot shield and a laser baton. And they say, "Hands in the air." No, actually they say, "Get on the ground and put your hands above your head." What do you do?
I thought Guardian Devil won't appreciate this, and I'm shooting a flare in the air, like, and then like a red cloud with horns forms above this thing.
So this is a one of Guardian Devil's gadgets, a flare gun type deal.
Yeah, like it's a signal to call him or to summon him, because he would say a summon.
What, this is like the bat signal.
Yeah.
Bringing in Guardian Devil. Oh man, how long does it usually take him to respond to this sort of thing?
Depends.
Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers, please, because your gadgets are kind of are part of your powers here.
They are. That's pretty good with the 12 plus whatever my freak is, so a 13.
You've got the freak going on. Does Guardian Devil traverse around the city by like grappling line, or by like, kind of infernal portals like that teleportal he gave you?
Yeah, but I think he like arrives in the general vicinity via portal, and then he does crazy stunty jumps down buildings and with a flaring cape and stuff like that.
I love it. Okay, yeah. So I think the camera cuts over to like another nearby building that like weirdly has like a Gothic bell tower just like perched up on the top, and we see kind of eldritch fiery sigils form a circular portal in the air, as like kind of leaping from it comes Guardian Devil, heliporting in, as it were, and then he does like several unnecessary backflips on his way to like land in front of the cops, and like as he lands, like several like smoke bombs have like come with him, kind of creating this like wall of red black smoke screening off the police, who just sort of like stumble backwards a little bit, as he says, "Officers, this is one of mine. Step away from her." Meanwhile, you had caught a gauntlet, my brainy friend. Framework, what do you do?
Well, this is mechanical, and I'm very good at that kind of thing. And I feel like if I just, really focus on it, I'll be able to use this to find the obvious flaw in the setup to turn the situation to our advantage. So I'm going to roll Tactical Genius.
Okay, yeah, please go for it.
All right, that's plus Savior, which for me is hey, +2. All right, let's see. So I like just hands straight into the wire works, and when I do that, you can kind of see at this point that even though she wasn't allowed to have prosthetic, just fingers, right? Like it's clear that Judith, like some of her bangles and stuff, are made out of similar stuff as her legs, and they start kind of unweaving and meshing in with this material. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to hit select on the dice. There we go. Verbal selected. Yeah, so that's an 8 plus 2. That's a 10. So on a 10, you're right, and another teammate can take advantage. They get +1 ongoing to act on your information. So I think what I'm going to work out is that these are set up to channel power, but no one really thought about channeling it backwards. And I'm going to try and pull the energy, send it back. And I'm going to tell Corey that, I think that this is going to hit both the kid we've been fighting and whoever like was backstopping him. I think I can really overload these, and to be on the alert for anyone else like suddenly going down when I throw the switch, and giving her a +1 target, whoever that is. Does that sound plausible?
Let me read the move one more time. Okay, so you got a 10 plus where you don't need to pick one of the things. Okay, you're right. Another teammate can take advantage to get +1 ongoing to act on your information. Okay, so it sounds like you've figured something out about the workings of this, including that Rebel Rouser is sort of not pulling his own strings, and you're giving Corey +1 ongoing to dealing with that sort of thing,
to dealing with whoever's behind him, basically.
That seems legit to me. What was the like effect you thought would come out of your monkeying with the gauntlet exactly?
Yeah, so I'm throwing it backwards. So I think the power this is channeling is going to hit Rebel Rouser pretty hard, but it should splash over to anyone who kind of set this whole thing up for him. And I would guess it's going to look something like the power he was channeling, but backwards. So I've not done this before, but so if this was kind of percussive, shaky things, I think this might like freeze someone, topple them over, just like stability, but too much.
All right, cool. I think tactical genius is enough to kind of give you this knowledge and give your teammate the bonus, but to kick this machine into sort of backwards overdrive, I want to have you unleash your powers.
If I'm unleashing them, I'm definitely pulling out one of my gadgets, and I think what I'm going to do here is just that, to actually send it back, have a quick flurry of pulling out hoses, reattaching hoses. I'm going to there's not enough room in the gauntlet for the power to turn around, essentially. It's more complicated than that, but I don't want to bore you because I don't think you'd understand. So they just need a little more space, and I can channel it through the vacuum machine monster, and then there will be enough room to close the loop.
Is she saying this out loud to hypothetically Corey as she's doing it?
Yeah, I'm giving her a heads up that I think this is going to take someone out. I tell her I think she's going to make them too stable. You'll probably make sense when you see it.
Good. We would like to be more stable.
No, we don't want to be this stable. This is going to be too stable. So everything is kind of in a perfect balance or moderation. That's what Aristotle says. Look, I'm just going to hit someone really hard with too much stability so they might freeze up or okay, cool, I will.
Yeah, let's see that unleash framework.
Yeah, that's going to be an unleash with superior then, and I'll mark that I'm going down a gauntlet, down a gadget in a second, but let's re-roll these dudes. That's a 6 is a 8. So that's a hit.
Yeah. So on a 7 to 9 hit with unleash your powers, you can either mark a condition or the kind of way your powers are unleashed is unstable or temporary. What do you choose?
I pick unstable or temporary.
Okay, beautiful. A couple things happen as framework hooks up the gauntlet of Rebel Rouser to her vacuum monster and uses that to invert the powers of the thing. Firstly, you, Matthias, were turning yourself into a slide to bring Rebel Rouser down to the ground. I think as the gauntlet he's wearing seems to react to what's going on with the one that framework is wielding. He stiffens up and kind of his eyes go wide and his teeth clench, and he just kind of rolls to the ground, totally kind of rigid, and doesn't seem to be responding at first, I think, as you try to talk to him about what's going on. And the debris all around that's been scattered over the ground kind of surges back up, and the building reassembles. So like people are looking and they see that like all the bits of the building that had fallen down have just kind of put themselves back together. If you look closely, there are still cracks, but for the moment, it's like there wasn't even like extremely destructive super fight in this on this street. The last thing that happens there, Corey, you're inside the building. Like you were holding it up, but like you like feel it, you feel it like suddenly stiffen and become more stable, and you feel like you can let it go a moment, and then kind of suddenly like kind of shuddering into visibility near you is a figure kind of wearing a black cloak and a somewhat bird-like mask, who's just did I manage to get this image prepped? Yeah, so a kind of hooded figure with a like white pointed bird-like mask suddenly becomes visible, almost as if they were like moving in a particularly sort of shadowy way, and then by like suddenly having like a bunch of stability kind of feedback looped back onto them, suddenly kind of stumble and are seen. I'm gonna share this link. It's the picture the person to the far right in this image. Suddenly becomes visible. They're like standing in the building, kind of like clearly have been watching this go down. And I think as they appear, there's like a kind of strangled sound of terror from the now like kind of rigid and immobilized rubble rouser, who's kind of lying on the ground, and this figure that's been forced to become visible and knocked off balance seems to be trying to regain balance and head towards the open door of the building out into the street where rubble rouser is lying. Corey, you're the closest. You've suddenly been able to let go of the building as it's holding itself up for the time being. What do you do?
Corey immediately like just doesn't trust this person who.
You don't trust this cloaked bird masked person? So strange.
It's weird, but no, just not a fan. So I think that she like rushes him, and I don't think that she is using her weapon. I don't think she's like holding back a little bit. Like she's not just going straight for, okay, let's just kill this guy. Cares about a little bloodshed. But she's
pulling your punches.
She's an ancient Incan goddess. She gets blood sacrifice every now and then. It's all fine. It hasn't caught on in the States, but give it a minute. There are 25 lawmakers down in Alabama that like.
Describe how you attack this individual.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so she sort of bum rushes him, right? She just like immediately like goes to him and like grabs his lapels and pushes him up against the wall.
Sounds a little like you're directly engaging a threat.
Yeah, and I'm specifically like holding back. So I'd like to be able to use one of my moves, which is Fight the Good Fight, which is when I pull my punches while directly engaging a threat.
Yeah. So you roll plus savior?
Yeah, instead of plus mundane.
Go for it.
Yes. All right, so it's a 7 plus 3 savior is 10. Yeah, so she's directly engaging. She got a 10. And yeah.
What do you pick from the directly engage option?
I think that she lifts him up and she like or put them like they're shadowy and weird. She lifts them up and like pushes them against a wall, and I think that she wants to like surprise and frighten them in a way. And
however, you can't choose surprise or frighten the opposition because you pulled your punches.
that's right. All right. So I think that I want to take something from them. First off, I think that I want to take away their ability to control Rebel Rouser. If there's any way that she can do that.
Sure. Yeah. We established there's some kind of technological connection that created this feedback loop. So I think like tell me what sort of kind of oddly archaic bit of technology do you like find kind of in the like in the folds of this person's cloak as you've pushed them against the wall?
I think maybe it would be something kind of like a seismograph, but like a very, very small one.
So like you're like see the like needle going along on this little screen on it.
Yeah, like a needle, like a weird glass thing, and there's like something. There's also like a spike that you like drive into the ground, and it looks like a weird like millennium item or whatever. So just continue in the neighborhood. So I think that she snatches that, and then I think, do I get another one if I get 2? Because I got 10.
Yeah, you get to pick another option.
I think that I want to resist or avoid their blows, in addition to just like matching it. And so I'm like holding them up here, and I'm like, what do you want from us? All we're trying to do is help.
That's great. Yeah, I think like you see one of their hands like flash out, and like you catch it, and like a like weird kind of like curvy dagger just kind of like clatters to the floor as you do so. So just to like give you the full effect for resist or avoid their blows. And so the person says to you, Corey, where you came from, you were a goddess. This fight is beneath you. Which I think is raising your superior and lowering your mundane. Do you accept what this person says about you?
No, she rejects, and she's just like, I think that she rejects by sort of like not shaking the baby, but just giving him another little slam against the wall. And she's just like, joke's on you. I'm a goddess wherever I go.
Wow. Roll to reject their influence.
Okay, that's flat, right?
Unless you're insecure.
All right. Woo, that's an 8.
Yeah. So what do you pick from the things you get for rejecting someone's influence? Either shifting your own labels, clearing a condition or marking potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong, or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
I'm going to get potential because I've been rolling too good.
Nice. So you do take potential. What do you do to prove this person wrong? To prove that indeed you are a goddess wherever you go.
I think she. Okay. Am I allowed to be ridiculous with this?
Please.
Okay. I think that she like gets jadey and shimmery and like very, very statue like. Yeah. I think that she pulls out her magic bolas and immediately like whips them around the sky. She has it in one hand, she whips her bolas around, and she literally just like hucks him out of the building.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Through the door that he was already trying to go through, and like towards the friends that are out there, and she just hucks him just straight up.
All right. Yeah, you've proved them wrong. Mark potential. Meanwhile, outside, Matthias, you've seen your enemy whom you've tried to help out a little bit, Rebel Rouser, suddenly go like stock still and kind of let out a strangled scream, and then you see this like black clad figure just like flung through the door into the street. What do you do?
First, I look down at him. Does he look like he's hurting? Like, or how? I mean, what's the? You said he was like he was really still, but looked like he was trying to scream.
Yeah, it looked like he's not looking in great shape, and I think his eyes dart over towards this figure, as they like hit the ground and then start and like kind of like hop up, and it's like kind of creepy that while still like with their arms bound by the bolus, they've still like nimbly hopped to their feet and are kind of like making a sort of the kind of speedy but like swaying run that a bird would make as it like is like heading towards something it sees, something shiny on the ground. This person is making a kind of is darting in a bird-like fashion towards the clearly afraid Rebel Rouser.
I think Matthias, does he recognize the golden shiny bolas?
As Corey's? I'm sure he does. Okay. Or why do you ask? Are you hoping that he does or doesn't?
No, I was making sure because I think he had seen her use those last session on the giant hand. So yeah, he presumes that Corey's tied that guy up for a reason, and he's now trying to get away. So what he's going to do is basically he's going to basically throw a gob of dark matter at the guy's feet and just like clamp them together.
Got it. Sounds like a directly engaged to me.
I think so. That is an 8 plus my danger of 2. That gives me a 10.
Nicely done. So you're kind of tripping this person up with dark matter. Tell me what choices you pick overall.
Okay, I think I'm going with take something from them, i.e. their ability to move, like so that their legs are now covered in that glop of dark matter and they just sort of collapse like their legs have been caught. And then he's going to resist or avoid their blows.
That's great. Yeah. All right. So yeah, nothing. No like sneaky trick here gets you. You see this person making a run for it, and then like knock them off their feet. They're kind of sprawled or at least like prone. And unable to strike back at you, but they do kind of like turn their head in this like strange, owl-like way to say to Rebel Rouser, "You better hope they bury you deep, boy. Mr. Hearst has hands everywhere." And then they like kind of like sing a little tune. 1 for sorrow, 2 for mirth, 3 for a funeral, and then they disappear in a puff of black feathers.
Can I support Matthias after that discouraging escape?
Go for it, and then we'll check in with the cops and Guardian Devil.
So I'm going to try and support Matthias in the best way I know how. You okay there, Alexi? I think I walk over and kind of like pat him on his slightly discomfiting shoulder as reassuringly as I can, and say, "Look, like you've got a lot more power to use than you keep remembering. You have to just think about what you're made of. Your body can do anything. You can't assume that other people's bodies can't. You only went for his legs, and that obviously wasn't enough, whether it was maybe his mouth and it was an incantation, or honestly, a lot of the ways your body works, like, have unusual properties, but to be honest, a lot of people just find them discomforting. I think you could really lean into that more effectively. Just glob it all over his face. And I think he'd be kind of too upset to do anything. And you just really need to just focus more on how you can use your powers to win the fight. And I think you've got so much potential, but you can't use them in conventional ways when you're not a conventional person. I'm comforting and supporting by pointing out the flaws in his tactics, which means I get to roll a comfort and support plus superior. So I'm sure that's helpful. That's going to be a plus 3 because this is my friend who I have influence over. So it's a 13. So it definitely, hits, but whether you are in any way comforted by that is up to you.
And because that's such a big hit, you even get to you're muted, Chris. Leah, because that's a big hit, you get to clear a condition yourself or add a team to the pool, I believe, whether or not your friend opens up to you.
Oh, so exciting.
I think he follows a little bit of that, and because he's a little bit distracted, and he says, yeah, I guess you're right. Sometimes I remember that I'm not just a glob of stuff, and I can do all sorts of weird stuff. But other times, I just think like I'm a big glob of slime that is just goop. Because I still don't know exactly what the hell I am.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Is that your vulnerability move?
I think so. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure that actually triggered. Yeah. Yes, I think it is. When you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, ask them if they think you're losing or gaining humanity.
Yeah, and I think that definitely counted as opening up to me. So I think what Judith says in response to that and goes like, you're not just a pile of goop. You're made of a pile of goop, right? But that goop has a form. The goop is the substance, but you are the form, and it's not your fault. You didn't pick this. You pick the form, not the substance, and you do a really good job. You're a better person not really being made of person stuff than many people are who are made primarily of meat.
Okay, just to make sure we resolve all the moments here. That sounds like Matthias did open up to Judith's comfort and support. So Chris, you can clear a condition, mark potential, or shift your labels. And then it sounds like
I will add a potential. I don't have any conditions right now.
And it sounds like when you shared a vulnerability and asked if they thought you were losing or gaining humanity, it sounded a little like Judith said you were losing humanity, albeit in like a good way.
Oh, I thought I said he was gaining it, right? Like we're hanging on to it. Like
Chris, how did you interpret what she said?
I interpreted it as saying like he's still a better person than most people who are made of person. I think that's the way that's how I heard it. Like she's saying like even though you're a person-shaped glob of this stuff, you're actually still better at personing than some people who are actually made of person.
Okay, so losing or gaining humanity in Matthias's interpretation.
I think gaining.
Nice. So if they say gaining, clear a condition and shift mundane up and any other label down.
Okay, I don't have any conditions to clear, but I can shift mundane up. That'll make mundane of 1. And I guess probably that would mean correspondingly my freak would probably go down to 2.
Yeah.
That sounds like a reasonable way for that to work.
Certainly. Let's
and I cleared guilty as a result of that comfort and support because Judith thinks she did a really good job.
Good for you, Framework. Nicely done. Yeah, let's jump over to the cops. Because I think that like, they're intimidated by Guardian Devil, but like his mere presence doesn't necessarily make them think, okay, nothing untoward is going on here and we should back off. And you, Mephisto, see them like kind of like start to like take hesitating steps forwards, like electro batons crackling. You know Guardian Devil can take them, but I don't know how you want this to play out. What do you do?
Hey, tell them we're with Aegis. Or no, I'm. When he lands, I'm doing the choreographed pose to make him look even more impressive while I'm rolling my eyes, and then I'm counting in my head until he threatens them with there will be hell to pay and all the puns, and yeah, it's don't embarrass me in front of the cops dad thing. But finally, I tell her, I tell him, so can you just tell them we are as Aegis, like me and my friends just were helping,
AEON,
like heroes.
Yeah,
Ian.
Yeah. So great. You boys have a hell of a way of running this city. You haven't even linked up with AEON to know that these upstanding young people are working with them. And I think the like there's I think there's some veterans there among Precinct 13 who kind of have been around the block once or twice and seen how this goes, but there's at least one foolhardy rookie who's just a man in a devil suit turned up in Hellfire to tell us off. This isn't any superhero I'm aware of, and so they make a kind of Leroy Jenkins charge, brandishing their electro baton, headed straight towards Guardian Devil. You see him kind of honestly, you see him step back and look at you expectantly, like this is some kind of test. What do you do, Mephisto?
So it's just one cop who comes running.
Yeah, it's one cop making a probably foolhardy charge at your mentor, but he's kind of turned to you and is deliberately hitting this ball into your court.
Yeah, I guess I'm loading another grenade thing, and then I'm shooting it at the cop, and the air fills with foam. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're most hoping to achieve here. Your primary objective.
Yeah, I want the cup to be foamed or glued into place.
Got it. I think he's not so much a threat to you. And so the question is, are you hoping to make a kind of impressive effect here with your gadgets, or primarily hoping to defend the cop from Guardian Devil or Guardian Devil from the cop?
Yes, latter. I want to defend them from each other, because ain't nobody got time for this.
All right, roll to defend.
So what stat was defend? Savior, yeah, that's obvious. So that's not enough. That's 6. Anybody want to team in?
I'm up to help, but I'm happy to leave it to someone else as needed.
You could also just spend it selfishly, which would be perfect.
Yeah, if you choose Mephisto, you can do actions that ignore or insult your teammates in order to spend a team selfishly, shift your own labels, and get that additional +1 you need for a 7 there.
Sure.
Tell me how your actions insult or ignore your team, and then shift Savior up and another label down.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm I'm shooting the foam stuff at the cop, and I'm telling them, so they're barely criminal. Like, sure, this is like the at risk after school program, but barely any one of them is a real criminal.
Yeah, that tracks for using team selfishly. I think like another one of the cops nearby like scoffs a little as they hear this. And like honestly, oh yeah, you guys pick up AEON chatter sometimes on your little communicators. I think you hear a back and forth from these people saying like, man, Guardian Devil's protege is really throwing her teammates under the bus, huh? But that you've pushed that defend up to a 7 through 9 there.
Yeah, and I go up with which stat was that?
Savior. Yeah, so you've increased your savior and moved one of your other stats down. So tell me how you shift them.
Yeah, I'm shifting savior up and superior down because I needed to call in the reinforcements.
Yeah. Nice. You get to choose, add a team to the pool, take influence over some of your protector, clear a condition for that defend hit.
Hey, I need to take a look at the list to make this choice. Sorry. Yeah, that's clear the condition.
Nice. That's great.
I'm not feeling guilty anymore. I even did the stupid choreography.
You even did the stupid choreography. And the other thing for defend is expose yourself to danger, escalate the situation. I have a thought on escalate the situation. Are you cool with me going with that option?
Sure.
Great. Rather than you being exposed to danger. I think what it is kind of stomping forward from the back of this pack of armored police is Captain Anna Mikolos, who hates and fears your team, and she has a walkie-talkie out, and she's like, Rockwell, your AEON program is a right mess here. My boys are trying to clean it up, but I think your kids are going to need to get picked up. And she shoots you a venomous look as she says this. And at this point, there's kind of the smoke has cleared a little bit. I think Guardian Devil has even receded into the shadows slightly. You can still spot him, Mephisto, but the cops may think he's disappeared. As they walk over, some of them open up compartments on their uniforms to pull out the comfort blankets they're putting around the people who've evacuated the building, and someone's like, so is it safe to go back into the building now? Which is when it just collapses again.
Is Corey out of the building?
Why do you ask?
Well, we never said that she got out of the building. We just said she hucks the bad guy out of it.
Yeah, let me tell you this. Corey's pretty tough, so I think your choices are either she's gotten out of the building right before it came down, or she as it's coming down, she walks out of the building and brushes dust off her shoulders.
I think you know which one I'm going to choose.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think you know that she's just going to dramatically walk out with brushing dust off her shoulders. I also, if you don't mind, I'd like her to go over to Rebel Rouser.
Yeah.
She's striding it's a runway, basically.
Hair blowing in the wind of the building recollapsing.
Yeah, the hair just goes out as the building falls, and she's the whole deal as she walks towards Rebel Rouser. Yeah.
And what? Yeah, I mean, I think he definitely like fixates on you. What do you do?
So I think Corey has the seismograph and the dagger. She picked us up.
She did. Yep.
Yeah, she did. So I think that she goes over to this kid, and she sort of gives him like an up down, and I think that she holds the seismograph out to him, and she's like, I think this is yours.
Nice. Honestly, it sounds like you might be comforting or supporting him.
Yeah, a little bit, and it'll definitely, if it goes well, it'll happen later as well. But yeah, definitely comfort or support at this point.
Yep.
So that's mundane, and I have a 0. So let's see what happens. Oh, 6. It's 4, 10.
What? Oh, sorry. How did it? Oh, it went up to 10 because
I have a 6 and a 4.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Plus your mundane, plus even your influence over him. That is extremely successful comforter support.
Oh no, this poor boy's in love with her.
Yeah, I think like as he like the feedback from the reverse polarity thing that Framework did has like stopped paralyzing him, and he kind of like loosens up and is kind of like trying to like pull himself to feet, even like smooth back his hair, just like he looks a little less hopeless than he did a moment ago, because he's like, I'm sorry, I lashed out when I saw you just invading this neighborhood, but I screwed up and knocked down a building on you, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
My mom didn't bring me up to knock down buildings on nice ladies.
I'm not a lady, but yeah, that's really not cool. But it's one of those things like, yes, use the proper term. It's princess, not lady. No, she doesn't say that. But she's like, yeah, she's like, not a lady. But yeah, sometimes there's just a lot of people putting a lot of pressure on us, right? We got a lot of shit to live up to. And I think that she sort of shrugs and looks around, and she's like, I know a guy, if you're interested in like kind of an after school program, maybe I could set you up, and you can, you put your powers to like a good use, and you'll be protecting the neighborhood too. Like I don't know why I keep saying invaded. We came here literally to just like clean up the playground. Didn't go super well. We kind of got like a giant rubble fist.
You were getting rid of Mr. Hearst's stuff all over here. Like, look, I shouldn't even be telling you any of this, but he's not gonna be happy. Corvin's gonna tell him what went down.
Yeah, that's okay. He can know. We'll be in the papers tomorrow too, so he can just pick up the front page. He'll probably see me.
I think like the cops at this point have come over, and like one of them is like putting a rough hand on Rebel Razzer's shoulder. All right, you're the one who started all this? And he like looks pleadingly around at you guys.
I think Corey immediately steps up and is just like, no. This was a natural earthquake. We're on a fault line. This guy helped us keep it all together.
Yeah, the trouble was that guy that just disappeared in a flutter of feathers.
I think to help you sell this, Judith just like kind of gives the gauntlet to the vacuum monster, which like wraps itself all around it till it's concealed.
Who wants to roll this provoke?
What is a provoke? Good question.
With superior.
I'm +2 superior.
Oh, I'll definitely roll that. I'm +3 superior.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So we're all sort of working together to fool this policeman. All right, let's do it. All right, I got a 9 plus 3, so I have a 12.
So we don't really have to do anything. We just sort of like we start to help, and then we're like, "Oh, she's got it."
Yeah, I buy that. I buy that between you all, the police are fooled, and at least like they're not like hauling Rebel Rouser away before AEON makes their appearance, and tries to sort out what went down here in this clean up the street mission they gave you, where they thought you'd just erase some graffiti, and I think like we'll probably end up like cutting away from there, but before we do, I want to check whether Mephisto had anything more to say to Guardian Devil, because your mentor is still lurking around and available.
We'll probably show him the card and tell him like some devil lady should have tried to sell me Hamilton tickets for more powers or something like that.
Are you talking to your mentor to ask for his advice?
Yes.
Roll fireside chat. I think he at least like takes the card and like scrutinizes it.
That's not bad. Fireside chat is freak. So I'm at a 10.
Oh, nice. That's where yeah. You'll mark potential if you follow their advice and take +1 ongoing to follow through. Cool. I think what he says is Ozrock, and Ozrock. That tripartite demon has been bedeviling this city for at least a century. Look, Mephisto, if they're trying to get their claws into you, they don't have your best interests at heart. I say, find out what they want so you can defeat them, but don't sign anything.
Sounds good. I will try to find out what they are doing.
Atta girl. Give 'em hell. And yeah, I think with that we cut away, and probably there's a caption that says like the next day, and the four of you are sitting at like desks in a nondescript AEON office, right? Like they've clearly like thought better of just dropping you into field work, and so this like next day of AEON after school program, they've like said they had a guest lecturer or someone coming to talk to you, but at the moment you're sitting in the room by yourselves. You seem to have a minute or two here. There's no visible AEON supervision, and you've heard that AEON has found your other teammates, but for one reason or another they aren't available at this moment. So yeah, Matthias, what do you do or say?
Let's see what they're in the desks. Is there, and we're in there. Who else is in there with us?
At the moment, no one. It seems you are unsupervised.
Yeah, he doesn't trust that, but he says, "Okay, does anybody know who the hell that guy that disappeared in that puff of feathers was? Like, I've never seen that guy before."
Do I know that guy because of the books I studied?
Oh, interesting. So what I think you may not have actually seen this character because you were dealing with the cops.
Yeah,
they may
but
be able to describe it the person to you. So I'm up for you to roll been reading the files here.
I'll restate. I'll tell him what my best memory of what he said before he disappeared too.
Yeah,
the little nursery rhyme sounding thing.
One of those.
it's an 8. Or not.
Excellent. That's on an 8, you get to tell us what important detail you've learned from your studies.
Yay. Yeah, so he obviously is like bird themed and has bird powers. Like,
I'll give you this NPC's name because I did like sort of drop it subtly earlier. This is a character named Corvid.
Yep.
And indeed, there's an avian power set and theme going on.
Corvid meets Raven, says Judith helpfully.
Okay.
They're subtly different from crows, but most people can't tell the difference.
Cool, I guess.
They also allegedly control the fate of the Queen of England, and I guess all of England. Just if that a bunch of them die, then England collapses or something.
Doesn't seem like a very sound system of government.
Oh, I mean, it couldn't be, right? I mean, but England has all sorts of weird stuff like that. Isn't there supposed to be a sword somewhere that somebody's supposed to go get when the crap hits the fan over there? But nobody ever went to get it in World War II when they were being invaded. They're weird.
I mean, constitutional monarchy is just a bad compromise to begin with. I think Plato is right that you should raise all children communally according to their metallic virtues.
Corey is like has her head on the desk and is just like softly like murmuring to herself, just like, kill me now, kill me, and my 900-year-old life right here. I don't want to go on, please.
I hope you don't mean that, bright lady of the reflecting pool. Let me see if I can get the name of her. Bright lady of the reflected underwater sun and jade stone and starlight. And I think walking through the door is the guest lecturer they brought in. Your uncle Jadeite.
Did I ever get the ice cream, by the way?
Yeah, totally, 100%. She bought you a Dove bar.
Great.
That's great. And just to like
fulfilled.
Just to fill in that last thing we wanted from that move, from been reading the files, Mephisto. You're aware that Corvid is this bird themed figure who's kind of skirted around the edge of the mystical world, and indeed. Framework is right. They've spent time in England and in Europe. So what's unusual and what's different from what from the files is to find Corvid apparently, working in New Gauntlet City for a low-level crime boss. So I think what disturbs you is the question of what's their agenda, what are they trying to pull here, honestly, like you may even at that point like see just like a single black feather that has incongruously stuck to your friend Matthias from when he was nearby the place where Corvid disappeared, and you see this like feather kind of like lazily float to the ground. I kind of want to just like to cap off the session before we do our regular end of session moves for us to roll the legacy extra move for Corey, since her uncle's just come in the door. So Corey, can you walk us through that? You asked your teammates a few questions here.
All right, so I'll read the move out loud. Legacy. Your legacy is an important part of New Gauntlet City. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Whenever time passes, roll plus savior to see how the members of your legacy feel or react to your most recent exploits. Before rolling, ask the other players to answer these questions about your performance. Take -1 to the roll for each no answer. So do I have to ask everyone each of these questions?
You kind of ask the room, and folks weigh in to come to a sort of consensus. I mean, it can kind of be majority rules on whether people vote thumbs up or thumbs down on these.
Yeah, why don't we do that? I'm going to be reading from the sheet, so someone will have to tell me what you guys say. All right, so the questions. Have you been upholding the traditions of your legacy?
People are mixed.
Okay, I'm just going to say like not, so that's not a no, so I'm just going to say not -1 for that one. Have you maintained the image of your legacy?
Your friends think you have.
She's been very photogenic a few times. Have you made the other members of your legacy proud? Okay.
All right.
So,
All right. People are being very generous, but it sounds like you're not rolling with a minus here.
You
Cool.
caught a building and you were very flashing. You made a teenager fall in love with you. That definitely seems aligned along the worship track.
That tracks for Corey and like the ancient Aztec gods, of which she is from. All right.
Maybe Rappelvrassler will sacrifice someone to you.
I got a 5.
Oh man, even including your savior?
Oh, is it plus savior?
I thought it was. Let's
It
double check.
is, yeah. Okay, never mind. I got an 8. Cool.
Let me just make sure I'm reading this move here. It's one of those. It's whenever time passes, and yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're rolling plus savior. Nice on a 7 through 9. Great. On a hit, one of them offers you meaningful encouragement, an opportunity, or an advantage. That's awesome. On a 7 through 9, another is upset with your most recent actions and will make their displeasure known. This is great. Yeah, I think so. I think like as Jadeite, walks in, going to give this guest lecture to all of you at your AEON after school program. He says, he puts a hand on your shoulder, Corey, in like a way that's both avuncular and regal somehow. It's saying, I know that you jest, young Corey Sipas Suwalpa. You have done all of us proud. In fact, your grandmother was hoping to congratulate you too. And that and he leaves that there, right? And goes on to like discuss heroism and kind of like the history of the way your legacy has existed in New Gauntlet City. But then later, when your grandmother calls, for this congratulations, how does your family back in Peru stay in touch with you, Corey?
I just sort of want to establish that Corey was literally sitting in detention with a bunch of her friends as her uncle lectured all of her friends on how great their legacy is.
Yep. Just,
Corey is
everyone should keep that in mind.
Corey literally just like wants to die. Corey is begging for death. Yeah. I think that there is Corey. I don't know where Corey lives. I haven't thought about it. But I'll think about that one later. This doesn't answer the question. I think Corey has like a bowl that is a very ceremonial ornamental bowl. Yeah. It's decorated. It's in jade. Has mother of pearl. It's beautiful. Worth a fortune. And she just like pours tap water into it, and it's like
it becomes like crystal clear as it goes into the bowl.
Yeah, and it's like a reflecting mirror, two-way mirror talking thing.
Yeah,
it's all magic god shit.
That's wonderful. Yeah, so your grandmother Nina Pakari appears, in this reflection to address you. She's got her like regal snake headdress and is like holding a rainbow as she does. And she says,
"Grandmothers hold rainbows."
Bright lady of the reflected underwater sun and jade stone in starlight. I have heard of your exploits, and while I know they impress your headstrong uncle, I need you to remember that your true duties lie here. That is why I have arranged a grand ceremony where all of your suitors will gain the chance to try for your hand. And she like kind of gestures and like, you know, images of the various suitors she's found appear. And there's you know, a kind of, you know, very muscular god with the head of a shark. There's a being that appears to just be a, you know, a swarm of bats, you know, in kind of the shape of a kind of towering figure, you know, but also, you know, wearing like a cloak over, you know, the body entirely made of bats, and just, you know, a bunch of these potential suitors that are being paraded before you.
Oh no! Oh my god! Corey's eyebrows go up real high, and she's like, "This is very. Thank you, Grandma, Gram.
You are very welcome.
I appreciate. I appreciate what you're trying to do here. Oh man, I really do.
I see you are overcome with gratitude and filial duty. That's
it.
good.
Oh god, that's it. That's the filament stuff. So much of that is just really overwhelming me right now. I am going to have to think about this. There's a lot to take in. I love you, Gram. See you at the next sacrifice. It's like slaps the water. It's just like, and she just like backs away, and she's like, I gotta get a girlfriend.
Nice. All right, we have reached our time, but if you're up to stay for a few moments, we'll do our end of session moves and then call it an evening. How's that sound? Then going in character keeper order, Mephisto, during the session, did you grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
I think I grew closer to the team, even if I said a few bad things about them. I actually helped them out and all this stuff.
Nice. So who made you feel welcome?
Corey gave me ice cream.
Hey, important we established that ice cream. Cool. So she didn't have influence over you before, so now she does.
Yay.
Go ahead and add. Oh man! All right, here we go. I'm adding another row to influence on because it's gotten to yeah. You have so much influence, Corey, and Mephisto, you also get to clear a condition, mark potential, or I think shift labels, or no, you get another bonus for you get a bonus for growing closer to the team. What do you pick from there? Definitely one of the options is clear a condition, or clear a condition or mark potential.
I mark potential.
All right, take your potential. Let's go next to Corey. Corey, did you grow closer to the team, grow away from the team, or grow into your own image of yourself?
I'm going to say that she grew closer to the team because people in general, like, you know, when she said jump, people were just like, okay, where? And that was kind of nice. But yeah, she grew into the team. I think that more than like people doing what she said, it was more that like people trusted her. So it was pretty nice. And I think that this is when I'm gonna give Judith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Judith influence because she sort of immediately was just like, oh yeah, sorry I'm late. Like I'll totally help out. And that was really nice for Corey, even though like Corey knows that Judith is really smart, and Corey knows that Judith like wants to be the person that's like telling other people what to do. I think that she knows that about Judith. But yeah.
It's so nice you would say this, because usually when Judith helps, people get angry.
Look, you tried real hard, and you did a try. So you did a try.
This is very sweet. Next, Matthias, did you grow close to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
I think he grew closer to the team. Like we were all like working together, like doing stuff together.
Yeah.
So that was actually like pretty cool.
Yeah. Who do you give influence to?
Actually, I think it's Judith, because she like talked him down from that awkward moment where he let the villain escape. So
I don't think you had influence already, so you're racking up. So you're going out on a high note with some influence.
Well, no, she actually did have influence over me, because I gave her influence at the very beginning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I do get to shift labels. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put your savior up to 0 and your mundane down to 0. I think you're a really good person despite not looking that much like a person at all.
Very legit. And Chris, you also get to mark potential, clear a condition. What do you pick?
I'm going to go with potential.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, man, we may see some advancement at last in our finale. Finally, framework, Judith. In your one-shot appearance here in session 2 of 3, did you grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
Yeah, so I think Judith grew closer to the team. She showed up, she kind of fit into the whole team naturally. It was great. And I think she felt like she grew closer to Matthias, who, tossed her the gauntlet, no questions asked. They worked pretty well together. He, took her constructive criticism well. So I'm going to give influence to him. So you get to shift my labels now, Matthias, and I'm going to take a potential, which takes me to 4 of 5. But, Alexi, at the end of every session, the brain answers the question, did you take steps to make amends for your shame? And I'm going to go with yes, because I think what Judith understands, like her new tactic as being, which I'm not going to say is a great tactic, is that, what she's kind of learned from this encounter is that, maybe she doesn't have to address the past problem at all if she just builds like a really new stable foundation, and supporting Matthias in this way. If she just does enough good for him, it cancels out the bad she did. So she feels like she's really making progress. That takes me up to 5 potential. And I'm going to take a sanctuary from the doomed.
Congratulations on getting this advancement. Tell me like one thing about what Framework's sanctuary looks like.
Yeah, so I think her parents pull some strings at the university, and she gets access to a lab and some resources. But one of the things she has to do to use the sanctuary effectively is just that her parents set this up mostly to try and like pull her a little bit away from some of the heroine and just like general mayhem she gets into. They want her to just be like a normal, difficult academic instead. So, whenever she's doing something really sneaky, she has to like make sure to record fake footage to loop because her parents have a camera in the lab. Just so they could check if she needed help or if something went wrong.
Oh man. All right. I'm excited about the potential for mischief built into this sanctuary that Framework has going forward. And thanks to the continuity of Gauntlet Comics, you can bring the character back in future sessions set in this universe if you so desire. Thank you all for playing tonight. I think this will be where we end our broadcast. One more thing from Chris.
Oh, the label shift.
Oh yeah. How'd you shift the labels?
I shifted danger down and mundane up. Because she was like being more human and less like scary when she was doing the comfort and support stuff.
Legit.
Aww.
All right. Thanks for playing, everyone, and thanks for watching. Anyone who's watching, keep on being super.